What truly keeps a man, making him constantly think of you, miss you, rarely lies in physical beauty, sharp intellect, or dazzling success. Those things certainly create a first impression, but deeper down, there is an invisible energy, a latent magnetism that few women truly possess. It causes a man not just to be attracted, but to be obsessed, constantly thinking of you, missing you. That is feminine energy. Feminine energy is a collection of core qualities, of hidden strengths from deep within every woman. It is a way of being, an attitude towards life, and a way of interacting with the world around you. Many women today, especially those who are independent and successful, inadvertently overlook this power. Social pressure, the fear of being hurt, or misunderstandings about independence have caused them to suppress their natural feminine aspects. That is why, although many women possess it, few truly hold and utilize this key. The nature and misconceptions of feminine energy. First, we need to dismantle the harmful myths that have surrounded the concept of feminine energy. When this term is mentioned, many people immediately think of weakness, passivity, or stereotypical images of a woman confined to the kitchen corner. But that is entirely untrue. What is feminine energy? Feminine energy includes flexibility, intuition, the ability to nurture, and deep emotional connection. It is the ability to receive, a softness that is full of power. A woman with healthy feminine energy can be very strong and decisive at work, yet fluid and sensitive in her personal relationships. She does not need to act tough or indifferent to prove her worth. We need to clearly distinguish true feminine energy from the negative things it can easily be confused with, things that are often mislabeled, feigned weakness. Feminine energy is not the act of pretending to be weak to manipulate men or evade responsibility. This type of behavior often stems from insecurity and a need to control others indirectly. A woman who feigns weakness may constantly complain or act helpless to attract attention or to have a man do everything for her. This creates fatigue and a feeling of being used for her partner, gradually leading to resentment. Conversely, true feminine energy allows you to be vulnerable when necessary, and to know how to reveal it in an authentic, trustworthy way. It is about daring to acknowledge your emotions, to say I need help with no other intention than sincerity. True vulnerability creates closeness, authenticity, and compassion. It invites protection voluntarily, stemming from care, not from obligation or burden. Dependency, femininity does not mean being unable to care for oneself and having to rely entirely on others in every aspect of life. Negative dependency is shown when a woman has no personal interests, no individual goals, and places her entire value and happiness in the relationship or in the man. She may constantly seek validation, companionship, and feel empty without her partner. This dependency will create suffocating pressure on any relationship. Healthy feminine energy goes hand in hand with deep self-reliance. It is independence of thought and having a rich personal life. She has her own passions, her own goals. She can stand on her own 2 feet, but still cherishes connection and sharing. This independence does not create distance, on the contrary, it makes her interesting, attractive, and an equal partner in the relationship. A man does not feel dragged down or haunted by dependency, but is attracted to someone with a private world for him to explore and share. Controlling or manipulative behaviors, some people may use softness, tears, or sweet words to control their partner, making them do as they wish. These are behaviors that stem from a fear of losing control or a lack of confidence in direct communication. These behaviors create a relationship full of tension, suspicion, and ultimately, resentment, breaking trust. That does not reflect feminine energy. True feminine energy comes from sincerity and a desire to connect based on mutual trust and respect. It does not need to use tricks or psychological ploys to achieve what it wants. A woman with strong feminine energy will communicate clearly, express her desires directly but gently, and respect her partner's freedom of choice. She attracts with truth, with openness, not with complexity or cunning to possess or control. A relationship built on manipulation will never be sustainable. In summary, feminine energy is not a false facade. It is the liberation of the deepest, most powerful, and truest qualities within you, things that many are inadvertently losing in modern life. The greatest allure of feminine energy, the core qualities of feminine energy, expressed authentically, create a powerful attraction that makes men constantly remember and want to be by your side. We will analyze in depth why each of these points has such a great impact on a man's psychology. Empathy and safety, listening without judgment. Deep down, every person carries silent burdens, pressure from work, social expectations, or internal battles that cannot be shared. Especially in a world where men are often taught to be strong, to suppress their emotions, they very rarely have the opportunity to be weak, to reveal their true vulnerabilities. The need to find a safe space to unload everything is immense. The loneliness in the soul is something many men must carry. A woman with feminine energy has the capacity for deep empathy. She not only receives information from words but also perceives the hidden emotional currents, the nameless worries in his silence. She does not rush to give advice or solutions, does not judge, does not deny his feelings. She is simply present, listening, and accepting. This creates an absolutely safe space, a place where a man can take off his strong mask, be vulnerable, reveal his imperfect aspects without fear of being evaluated or looked down upon. They feel embraced, understood unconditionally, a deep soothing. He comes home after a difficult meeting, his face weary. You don't ask consistently what's wrong, nor do you rush to say just ignore it to feel better. Instead, you sit down next to him, place a hand on his shoulder, and maintain an understanding silence, perhaps saying gently, "I see you seem heavy-hearted. It's okay not to say anything, I'm here if you want to share." This presence and acceptance allow him to sigh in relief, and perhaps, a few minutes later, he will start sharing things he kept hidden all day. The attraction here is that men finally find a place where they are seen, understood, and accepted completely. This is a basic need for every human, but it is especially profound for men, who often have to hide their vulnerable side. A woman who brings this sense of security will become a firm support, a spiritual home in their mind. The rarity of this non-judgmental empathy is precisely what makes it priceless, a fountainhead they long to return to. Gentle strength, receptivity and trust. In many societies, men are often shaped to be the strong ones, the providers, the problem solvers. Their deep instinct is to protect and to do something useful for the person they love. They want to feel capable, to have an important role in the woman's life. This is an innate desire, a part of the masculine self. Feminine energy does not display weakness, it shows the strength of fluidity, a gentle flow that cannot be broken. A woman with this energy does not try to control everything, is not rigid or demanding in her own way. She has the ability to receive care, help, and love naturally and comfortably. When a man offers to help, she does not refuse with a sharp rejection or try to prove she can do everything. Instead, she smiles, her eyes full of trust, and says, "Thank you, you help me so much." This expresses absolute trust in his ability and good intentions. You're struggling with a heavy grocery bag. He immediately comes to carry it. Instead of saying, "Oh, it's okay, I can do it myself," you look him straight in the eye, smile, and say gently, "I'm so glad you're here, I didn't know how I'd manage this." Or when he is trying to fix a broken item in the house, instead of standing there criticizing or rushing, you bring him a glass of water and say, "You're working so hard. I believe you can fix it, you're so skilled." That simple trust and receptivity make him feel like he is truly your hero in that moment. This deeply activates the hero instinct in men. When she allows him to be the protector, to express his strength, a man feels valued, capable, and truly needed. He does not feel pressured to compete with her, but to build something beautiful together with her. This is a perfect energy supplement, where masculinity is expressed and femininity is honored naturally, without force. This ability to receive without the intention to control is a rare trait, as many women unconsciously compete for this role, causing men to lose the feeling of being able to express themselves. Radiance from within, true beauty and confidence. Physical beauty may attract the initial gaze, but what makes a man obsessed is a different kind of beauty, the beauty that radiates from a soul that loves and accepts itself. This is the resonance of inner strength and peace. A woman with feminine energy does not need to chase rigid beauty standards or compete with others for recognition. She understands her intrinsic worth, knows who she is and what she deserves, without needing any external validation. This true confidence does not come from elaborate makeup or revealing clothes, but from being comfortable in her own skin. She lives authentically, does not hide her flaws or try to create a perfect image. The act of self-care, eating healthily, exercising, maintaining personal hygiene, wearing suitable clothes, is not to impress, but an act of self-love and self-respect. When you love yourself, you will radiate a peaceful, powerful energy, free from pretense or tension. This energy creates a quiet but incredibly strong pull. You have a big party to attend. Instead of spending hours worrying if you are glamorous enough, you choose an outfit you love, apply light makeup, and enter the party with a radiant smile, chatting comfortably with people. That confidence, the fact that you are completely comfortable in your own skin, will be far more captivating than someone trying to wear expensive items but constantly worrying about their appearance, or constantly checking their phone for attention. The peace in your soul is what attracts them. Men are drawn to this radiance because it shows a stable, self-reliant woman who does not need external validation. It is a beauty with depth, a beauty not eroded by time, and it makes them want to be near to feel that peace and authenticity. In an era where everyone tries to present a perfect image on social media, this authentic beauty becomes even more prominent and precious, an invitation to truth amidst falsehoods. Positive energy, everyday joy and humor. Life is full of pressures and stresses. Everyone wants to find a place to escape, to relax, and enjoy. They seek people who can bring positive energy, relief, a remedy for mental fatigue. Feminine energy is expressed through the ability to find joy in the simplest things every day, a morning cup of coffee, a favorite melody, an interesting conversation. She brings laughter, innocence, and an optimistic spirit, even if not everything is always perfect. She can use humor in a subtle, everyday way, making tense moments lighter. She knows how to enjoy life and invites others to enjoy it with her, creating an atmosphere that spreads comfort. When you accidentally stumble a little or drop a small item, instead of frowning in annoyance or looking embarrassed, you burst out laughing and joke about yourself. Haha, so clumsy. I guess my feet aren't listening to me today. Or when you see your partner is too stressed, you gently tell a funny story you encountered during the day, or suggest playing a small game. That carefree, self-deprecating humor immediately makes the atmosphere comfortable, and he will find you so endearing for not taking things too seriously. The attraction here is that men find someone who can lighten their worries, bring laughter and excitement. He not only loves her but also loves the vibrant, joyful feeling of being with her. This contagious joy creates a positive atmosphere that makes him always want to return to her side. Many people today carry heavy worries, rarely allowing themselves to be innocent and carefree. That is why this pure joy becomes so valuable, a beacon of peace in the storms of life. Inner depth, intuition and a private world. While men are often guided by logic and action, feminine energy is tied to keen intuition, the ability to feel and understand things beyond what reason can explain. A woman who trusts her intuition carries a mysterious depth and a special wisdom, an innate understanding of the world around her. Besides that, she has a rich private life, personal interests and concerns that do not need to be entirely shared. She has a private world that she doesn't need to explain or ask permission for. This is not about being secretive, it is simply about maintaining a fascinating inner world, hidden corners that a man constantly wants to explore. She has a full, interesting life even without him. You spend Tuesday evenings learning to paint, or Sunday mornings attending a yoga class. When he asks what you did, you excitedly tell him about the new experience, about a sudden idea that came to you. You don't feel the need to report or explain every detail, simply sharing your joy. This independence piques his curiosity, making him want to learn more about your private world. Or sometimes, you have a strong gut feeling about a person or a situation, and then things turn out exactly as you felt, leaving him surprised and admiring. This attraction maintains curiosity and the desire to explore. She is not a completely open book, but a universe with unknown galaxies, making him always feel there is something to seek, to contemplate. Her intuition sometimes becomes an invisible compass for him, guiding him to things that logic can hardly touch. In a world where all information is laid bare, a soul with depth and mysterious corners becomes irresistibly captivating, an invitation to wonder. Awakening potential, supporting growth. Every man has goals, dreams, and the aspiration to become a better version of himself. They need someone who believes in and supports them on that path, someone who can see their potential even when they doubt themselves. Feminine energy is expressed in the ability to believe in a partner's capabilities, encouraging him to pursue his dreams without imposing expectations or control. She is a source of sincere encouragement, someone who sees his potential even when he doubts himself. This does not mean directing or managing, it is simply a reliable presence, helping him feel inspired to rise up, to surpass his own limits. She doesn't do it for him, but is always there to support, to be a strong rear guard. He is pondering a new project at the company, full of risks and pressure. He shares his worries with you. Instead of you giving advice like you should do this/that or I think this is too risky, you look him in the eye and say, I know you have the ability to do whatever you set your mind to. You always find a way to figure things out, and I believe you can do it. Or when he succeeds, you not only congratulate him but truly celebrate with him, showing pride in his effort and talent. This sincere, unconditional encouragement will give him the strength to overcome his fears. Men long for a woman to see and acknowledge their good qualities. When a woman not only loves them but also helps them become a better version of themselves, she becomes an indispensable part of their life and development. He feels seen, respected, and motivated to achieve greater things. In a world full of competition and criticism, a woman capable of seeing and nurturing his potential is a rare gift, a silent but incredibly effective power. Building a nest, creating a comfortable and caring space in the hustle and bustle of modern life, men often face pressure from work, finances, and society. They seek a place to return to, a place where they can let go of all burdens and find peace, to recharge their energy, a place for the soul to rest. Feminine energy is expressed through the ability to create a cozy, tidy, and pleasant space. This is not limited to traditional homemaking. It could be the way you arrange a room, the way you prepare a simple but thoughtful meal, or the way you create a relaxing atmosphere in conversation. It is the subtlety in paying attention to details, to the comfort and peace of a man. She brings a feeling of being enveloped, cared for in a natural way. He has just returned from a long, tiring business trip. You don't need to do anything grand, just have a hot cup of tea or a light snack he likes ready, and ensure the room is clean, tidy, with a gentle fragrance. Or when you know he has an important sports match, you prepare a nutritious meal he likes, even if it's not your specialty. This quiet thoughtfulness, creating a space where he feels welcomed and cared for, will make him feel more peaceful and appreciative than any words. The attraction here is meeting the deep need for stability, peace, and the feeling of being cared for after the chaos outside. The ability to build a nest, whether it's a small room, a simple meal, or just a comfortable conversational space, fulfills the deep need for safety and belonging. In a chaotic life, a peaceful place, cared for with subtlety, is what men crave, a home to return to that they never want to leave. Respecting masculinity, genuine admiration. Every man, no matter how strong, has a basic need to be recognized and respected. They crave recognition for their efforts, their achievements, and their masculine qualities. They want to feel like a strong, capable, and respected man. Feminine energy is expressed through genuine admiration for a man's strength, wisdom, decisiveness, and efforts. This is not empty flattery, it is simply recognizing and appreciating what he does, who he is, without trying to change or overshadow it. When he achieves something, big or small, your recognition and admiration will mean a great deal. When he shows strength, you don't try to prove you are just as strong, but you cherish that quality in him, making him feel encouraged. He shares about completing a difficult project, or successfully fixing a broken item in the house. Instead of just saying "great job," perfunctorily, you can look him straight in the eye and say, "I'm really impressed with how you persistently solved this problem. You have a decisiveness that not everyone has." Or when he helps you with a small task, praise him, "Thank you for helping me fix this, you did it so quickly and skillfully, I couldn't figure it out." Specific praise that comes from sincere admiration will reinforce his value, making him feel seen and deeply significant. This attraction is a powerful motivator. Recognition of his value from the woman he loves reinforces his ego and motivation, making him feel seen, respected, and deeply significant. This encourages him to want to continue being the hero in your eyes, constantly striving to be worthy of that admiration. In a society full of competition and pressure to prove oneself, a woman who truly admires his masculine qualities is incredibly precious and rare, an endless source of strength for him. Jungian psychology, explaining this deep attraction. The allure of feminine energy is not just what we see on the surface. It also touches the deep unconscious levels of the male psyche, as psychoanalyst Carl Jung discovered. This is why that attraction is so powerful it can be obsessive. Activating the anima, finding the other half of the soul. According to Carl Jung, every man carries within his unconscious an inner image of the ideal woman, which he called the anima. The anima is the feminine archetype within the male psyche, the sum of unconscious feminine psychological qualities a man possesses, such as sensitivity, intuition, the ability to connect emotionally, and softness. It is the aspect that society often forces men to suppress to fit the masculine image of strength. When a woman expresses her feminine energy authentically and strongly, she unconsciously activates this anima image in a man's mind. This creates a deep sense of recognition, a powerful resonance, as if he has found the other half of his soul. It is not just physical or intellectual attraction, but a fated connection at the deepest level. He is obsessed with her because she represents a crucial part he needs to become whole. Carl Jung once said, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become." Her feminine energy not only accepts a man as he is but also awakens his desire to develop, to perfect himself from within. She helps him recognize and integrate his own suppressed feminine aspects, promoting the process of becoming a whole individual. Archetypes and the pull of opposite energies. Jung believed there is a deep layer of the unconscious mind that all people share, containing archetypes, innate, universal patterns of thought, emotion, and behavior. A woman's feminine energy touches upon the feminine archetypes, like the nurturing mother, the passionate lover, the self-ruling queen, in the male collective unconscious. This creates a primal attraction that transcends all reason or logic. The attraction also comes from the polarity of energies, feminine energy, unifying, nurturing, and masculine energy, discriminating, acting, complement and balance the man's energy. This supplementation creates a harmony, a completeness that both sides crave. When these two energies meet and balance, they create a powerful and enduring spark. Jung explained, the characteristic of the masculine is discrimination, while the characteristic of the feminine is unity. The softness and receptivity of femininity create deep connection and bonding, filling the void of separation that the masculine aspect often brings. She brings balance. And Jung also pointed out, when you look into the collective unconscious, you will find that the archetypes are really innate forms of intuition. This explains why a woman's intuition, a core part of feminine energy, has such a special allure. It is not just a cognitive ability, but a connection to the unconscious depths, creating a mysterious and intense attraction that touches a man's instincts. Connecting with feminine energy every day. Unlocking and developing feminine energy is not a course or a dry theory. It involves small, concrete actions you can practice right in your daily life, helping you connect more deeply with yourself and express your natural appeal. Accepting vulnerability, letting go of the pressure to be perfect in a society that glorifies strength. Many women feel they must always strive, must always appear perfect. But it is the honesty with one's own limitations that is true strength. Give yourself permission to be weak, to be tired, to be imperfect in private moments. Allow yourself to cry when sad, to vent when stressed, or simply to spend an afternoon resting without feeling guilty. When you accept these aspects of yourself, you will more easily express them authentically in relationships. This doesn't make you weaker, on the contrary, it frees you from the pressure to be perfect and creates genuine closeness with others. Instead of always saying I'm fine when someone asks how you are after a long day, try saying I'm a little tired today to someone you trust. Or allow yourself a lazy evening watching movies instead of trying to finish all the housework. Opening up to receive, allowing others to help. Many independent women tend to refuse help because they want to prove they can do everything. But this is a major barrier. When a man offers to help, whether it's a small thing like opening the car door, carrying heavy items, or assisting you with an issue, smile and sincerely say thank you, instead of refusing sharply or trying to do it yourself. This doesn't make you weaker, on the contrary, it allows him to express his protective instinct and feel valued. Similarly, if you're facing a problem, instead of hiding it, gently share and ask for his opinion. He will feel trusted and want to do something for you. You're struggling with heavy grocery bags. When he extends his hand, say, "Oh, that's wonderful, I really need it. Thank you so much." Or when you're unsure about a decision, instead of thinking about it alone, say, "What do you think about this? I'd like to hear your opinion." Nurturing joy and lightness. Don't forget to be carefree. A busy life sometimes makes us lose our innocence and joy. Find joy in the small things every day, a morning cup of coffee, a favorite melody, a flower blooming on the roadside. Make a habit of smiling genuinely more often, not just at others but at yourself. Use open and soft body language, like a gentle gaze, soft gestures. Allow yourself to be playful, to joke a little in conversations. This creates a comfortable atmosphere, reduces stress, and makes life brighter for both you and those around you. When you accidentally stumble a little or drop a small item, instead of frowning in annoyance or looking embarrassed, burst out laughing and joke about yourself. "Haha, so clumsy today. I guess my feet aren't listening to me." Or when you see your partner is too stressed, gently tell a funny story you encountered during the day, or suggest playing a small game. Listening to intuition, connecting with your inner voice. In a world full of information and logic, we often ignore the voice of our intuition. Spend a few minutes each day turning off all external noise, phone, social media, and listening to your inner voice. When facing a decision, instead of just using logic, ask yourself, what is my feeling about this? Don't ignore those first gut feelings, those nameless sensations. Trust that little voice, even if it sometimes lacks a clear reason. Practicing this will help you connect more deeply with your natural instincts and make sound decisions, bringing confidence from within. Before making an important decision, close your eyes for a few seconds, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what is my gut feeling? Sometimes, intuition will tell you something that reason hasn't had time to analyze. Practice trusting small hunches in daily life. Maintaining a private world, creating natural attraction. A woman with a rich private life will always be more attractive than one who only revolves around her partner. Be determined to make time for your own hobbies that are unrelated to work or your partner. It could be reading, painting, practicing yoga, or simply going for a walk alone to think. This helps you maintain a rich and interesting inner world, creating a healthy mystery. When with your partner, you can share interesting things you do or discover in that private world, but you don't need to recount every detail. This makes you independent, interesting, and constantly makes him want to learn more about you. Sign up for a dance class, join a book club, or set aside one evening a week to journal without needing to explain the details to anyone. When your partner asks about your day, briefly share one interesting thing you learned or felt, instead of narrating the entire schedule. Caring for the nest, from space to spirit. A nest is not just a house, but a feeling of peace and being nurtured. Pay attention to creating a tidy, cozy living, or working, space. It could be a small, tastefully decorated corner, a simple but thoughtful meal, or the way you create a relaxing atmosphere in conversation. This isn't necessarily about traditional homemaking, it is simply the subtlety in caring for details, for a man's comfort and peace. It expresses your nurturing ability and thoughtfulness, creating a place he truly wants to return to after the daily grind. Acknowledging and praising, recognizing his value. Every man, no matter how strong, has a need to be recognized and respected. Proactively recognize and praise a man's efforts, achievements, or strong qualities. It could be his decisiveness at work, his persistence when facing challenges, or simply the way he cares for you. Sincere, specific praise will reinforce his value, making him feel seen and deeply significant. This does not mean flattery, it is genuine respect, something men crave and that will make them want to continue being the hero in your eyes. When he shares about completing a difficult project or successfully fixing a broken item in the house, instead of just saying "great job," perfunctorily, you can look him straight in the eye and say, "I'm really impressed with how you persistently solved this problem. You have a decisiveness that not everyone has." Or when he helps you with a small task, praise him, "Thank you for helping me fix this, you did it so quickly and skillfully, I couldn't figure it out." Feminine energy is not a tactic to obsess a man. It is self-liberation, a deep connection with your true self, and allowing those qualities to shine. When a woman lives in alignment with her feminine energy, she not only attracts but also awakens a deep part of a man's soul, making him long to connect, to protect, and to be loved. This attraction is a secret that has existed for thousands of years, imprinted in the collective unconscious of humanity. It is not a fleeting trend, it is an enduring power, waiting for every woman to discover and live it to the fullest. If you find this content valuable, please support the Love and Psyche channel by hitting like, sharing this video with friends you think will need it, leaving a comment with your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next deep psychological analyses.